You're watching White Mountains TV. I'm Chris Prue, coming to you from our North Conway studios, and I'm joined via Zoom meeting by Bernadette Donohue, real estate agent at Badger Realty. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us, Bernie.
Thank you for having me, Chris. And we're both doing Zoom still, right? So we're both in our respective offices downtown North Conway.
Exactly. But so we're back where we're supposed to be, but still not talking in person. Interviews look awkward when they're over 6 feet away. So we figured this was still a better way to do it for at least a little while. And talking through a mask isn't that fun either. So.
No, not at all.
So you guys have been operating business, not as usual, but you have still been helping people find their homes, sell their homes throughout this pandemic. Tell us what's the latest right now. Tell us about the operations over at Badger Realty.
Yeah, so we are open to the public. The doors are open. We don't require masks, but we certainly would encourage people to wear masks if they're coming in. Anyone who's uncomfortable at all can meet us at a different location if they prefer. We are showing properties. Most of our sellers are requesting masks. If it's an empty house, then they don't necessarily, but the realtors are all being pretty cautious. And, you know, everybody wants the community to be safe, our visitors to be safe, and it to be a pleasant experience. I just had a closing today at Alpine Title, and they've been doing business, of course, quite a bit, but in the barn. And it's quite fun because you're sitting in the barn closing, and two different tables, the sellers on one table, the buyers are on another table. Everybody's got their masks on and hand sanitizer, but the enthusiasm is still there. So it's a lot of fun to close. And we had a great closing this morning. It was the buyer's forever home, and just, it's all about relationships. The sellers were so happy. I listened to some of their stories about they were heading out, not sure where they were going to go. They're going to rent for a little while before they decide, but they were now ready to go. And the buyers were delighted to find a house, $350,000 in a great neighborhood in Conway. And it was a really fun win-win situation.
Well, congratulations. What's the market like right now? Is it? I've heard that it's still doing pretty well despite everything that's been going on.
Oh yeah, we have about a 2 to 3 month inventory, which means it's very much a seller's market. So buyers get a little frustrated because sometimes they're chasing properties that have multiple offers. I've got one girl who's looking for a vacation home with water access, and she's missed 3 already. All of her offers have been over full price, and they've all been in multiple offer situations. So it gets frustrating for people who are on the buyer's side. They know what they want, and they either can't find it, or when they do find it, so does everybody else. So that's a little hard to deal with, but I wouldn't lose hope. It really, persistence makes a difference. And if I've learned anything in my 35 years of business, it's that things work out, and things work out sometimes better than they expected. So sometimes you lose out on a property, and then you're just so delighted that you found something you wouldn't have if you had gone that way. So, you just have to have faith and hope and determination and persistence, and a really good real estate agent by your side, because that helps a lot to make the process easier.
Have you noticed a change in the types of buyers at all? Obviously, this is a big market for second homeowners, but I've also seen on different, social media chat boards that a lot of people they want to get out of the city, that they've had enough, and want to make this their permanent home.
I have seen that too, Chris. Yeah. In fact, we were showing a property on Keyser Lake the other day. Went under contract within a week. It was just shy of $1 million, and the buyers that bought it were local, and were also Keyser Lake fans, but they were in competition with other buyers. A gentleman and his family came up from Boston, 2 little kids, and that's what he said they were looking for. He said, there's no reason to be in the city anymore. Why not be up here for that kind of money? They could be on a lake and really enjoying themselves. So one thing that's happening is people are looking for high-speed internet access.
Yep.
His discussion was about his wife working from home and really needed that kind of high speed. So we are finding that to be one of the common questions. And it doesn't necessarily have to be high-end homes. It's all different homes, all different price ranges. The people who are looking to move up here for permanent residence are really looking for that kind of, work at home type of ability.
All right. So much great information. We're talking with Bernadette Donohue of Badger Realty in North Conway. You actually have a property that you wanted to show off that you're quite proud of.
I do. And I want to say happy Father's Day if this is airing on Father's Day weekend. So to all the dads out there, this is a property, as I mentioned before, real estate's a lot about relationships. And this is a particular person who was a builder of our property and became good friends with the family. And he is now selling his property. It's in Fryeburg, Maine, and it's in one of those sweet spots on the price. It's $225,000. So people might think, well, why hasn't it been scoffed up yet? And there's always some kind of a reason. This one happens to have a little bit of a challenge in terms of its driveway access. It's a private right-of-way, and they use it as a driveway, and it's gravel. It can be tricky sometimes, so you really need to be a plow person, someone who's got a plow, because I've been told by a local plow person that you really have to start from the top down on this house. So it's only 0.2 miles of gravel right-of-way road, but that's a little tricky for some people. So that being said, the rest of the house is really sweet. It is a 1970s house that was added on to with the whole different wing and garage in 2000. So another addition that's 20 years old. It sits on 0.7 acres of land. It's got a lot of privacy, has some nice views. It is just a really, really sweet house. You walk into the kitchen and it's an open space with the living kind of kitchen concept. I'd call it a great room with a fireplace and cathedral ceilings. Has a little bit of a rustic feel to it. That's the 1970s portion. A den acting as a living room, and then it's got a bedroom wing with 3 bedrooms and bath and a half. And then the lower level is a finished basement with an office, a rec room, and a half bath with a laundry, plus the 2-car garage. So that's a lot of property for $225,000. It's in Fryeburg, Maine, so you get the great school system there too, and it's real convenient. It's just off a Leach Road, which is across from the fairgrounds. So a really nice property if someone has a little bit of wherewithal to deal with that right away.
Well, what's a deterrent for some people is an opportunity for others. So
I think so too.
If you're in the right situation and you're a plow guy, or can work around this problem, you're going to get a great value for.
Absolutely terrific value.
All right, Bernie. Anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
Sure, why not? Just get a little shout out to our friends over at the Vibe. And they put together a great magazine, as you know, quarterly. And I have now become the real estate corner expert. I have a nice article in here, and there'll be another article in the upcoming summer one. So shout out to the Vibe. All
right. We are talking with Bernadette Donohue, Badger Realty, and you can actually get the Vibe. It's free on newsstands across the Mount Washington Valley. Each one is a keepsake issue. It really feels like you should be spending $20 on it, and it's free. So congratulations on that, Bernie.
Yeah, and kudos to the Mount Washington Valley for doing a great job of opening back up. I see lots of life going on, and people are being super cautious, but very friendly, and it's really, really nice to see our visitors back in town.
Yeah, it's new territory for everyone. We're all kind of experimenting and experiencing this together, discovering together. So be patient out there, and everybody, like you said, is doing a great job. So kudos to them. And it's summer in the valley. I feel like we're finally. And
the weather's been so great. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bernie, thank you so much for joining us. We will talk to you again soon, I'm sure. And I hope you have a great Father's Day. It's not just for the dads; it's for everybody. For everybody. All right.
Thanks, Chris.